Hi, I'm Joe Wesley of J&L Creative Tours, and today we're going to start a series of how to turn lemons into lemonade. Well, you might ask, what do I mean by that? Specifically, pretty much every one of you is familiar with this image and what it means as a disruptive part of our lifestyle, to put it mildly. Virtually everyone I've spoken with, virtually everything that I've read about, people are shocked, surprised, in a state of disruption because of, again, COVID-19. Most of us worldwide have been caught up in the process of coping. And what do I mean by that? It's responding to too much, too soon, too new. We're overwhelmed in terms of what paper product to buy. We're overwhelmed in terms of our health, in terms of our family, our friends, our associates. We're overwhelmed in terms of our cash flow, our livelihood, for ourselves, for our business, for our employees, all at the same time. And that's aside from what to purchase: paper product, milk, frozen foods, yeast, if we ever run out of that, and all again at the same time. So coping has really been a process of basically keeping up to ourselves and trying to manage the best we can. Well, when I talk about turning lemons into lemonade, I'm talking about the fact that at some point there will be a COVID-19 afterlife. Pretty much everything I've read agrees with that. The challenge is nobody really knows what that future is going to be. Oh, we may have an inkling, we may have some idea, but again, nobody really knows. It begins with the sense of shifting the need to cope, which is critically important for a lot of us, but also begin to anticipate that there will be a tomorrow. And ultimately, there's a long-term picture we have to be concerned about, and more importantly, be prepared for. Now, some people might say, well, look, I'm too busy coping for the moment. I've got no time for anything else. What we're going to share with you is coping is simply the start of being adaptive, of being ultimately creative, not only for your personal life, but also for your business life. So one does not get in the way of the other. And in fact, it would even enhance it. And I'm going to give you an example. My wife got a call several weeks ago by her hairdresser saying that she, the hairdresser, is a non-essential business and therefore she must close her shop down. She would not be able to provide my wife any further hairstyling. Now, being the loving and concerned husband that I am, my first thought was not, oh my gosh, who's going to style her hair? My first thought was, I'm going to need a haircut someday. And as I'm saying it, several things went through my mind. Shocked, first off, and then amused and embarrassed. And I'll tell you why. Shocked because I'm a biology major. I understand perhaps better than a lot of people the concept of this COVID-19 virus, what it means. It was not going to be a 2-day disaster. It was going to stretch out. And until we find good diagnosis of the virus and good treatment of the virus, we're certainly going to live a different lifestyle as a society. Yet, it never occurred to me I am not going to be able to get a haircut, because somewhere in the back of my mind, when it comes, I'll pick up the phone, I'll make it happen, until the call of my wife's beautician. I'm embarrassed because I thought until recently I'm a very proactive person. I like to believe I think outside the box. I take the initiative. I'm inquisitive. I'm curious. I'm proactive. And as a result, I had a competitive advantage over my competition. But when this incident about the hairstyling and the barber came up, I realized that I'd been in a box, thinking I'm the best thing going perhaps, but realized I had not really been expansive in my thinking. I'd gotten into a routine, a groove, and I thought I was pretty good at it. So what did I do? Went on YouTube, did research. I looked at hair clippers, different types for the value. I looked at how to cut hair at home, all new stuff to me. Normally when a barber says to me, well, how much do you want off? I says, maybe half. Well, I've learned terminology like I want a 3 closed and a 2 open and a 1.5 here as I've done the routine. Now, before I got to that point, we got the clippers in. I sat down with my wife and I said, I'd like you to cut my hair for me. And she had 2 thoughts. First off, she was pleased that she could be a part of my lifestyle and assistance, even though I didn't really help her much about styling her hair. I'm sure I'll end up washing it for her. And also, she was concerned about the fact that she might muck it up. And I said, look, it's not like I'm going to be meeting people eye to eye, so that's not a problem. And if it is mucked up, not if you muck it up, because it's the first time effort, if it is mucked up, I'll just sit in the shadow doing the webinar so nobody will see the difference. And if it's really, really mucked up, well, then what I'll do is I'll put a cap on sideways and I'll wear dark sunglasses. And I'm the cool guy for the moment. So nobody will see the blotches and the wild hair all over the place. So there's no downside. So we went through it. We read the directions. We did a dry run. We did it. It came out pretty good. And I sound surprised because it was new for us, and we were concerned about that. So on a coping level, I went from the shock of, oh my gosh, I'm going to need a haircut someday. What do I do? To an adaptive level. I took the time to do some research, learn something I hadn't done before, willing to make the effort to make it happen because I have to do it for the moment, for the need. And it came out well, but we've since gotten better at it. I've even did one of my own, and I still probably won't go out in public with it, but for the purpose of this conference, it's going to work quite well. So, it got me to thinking, though, from the bigger picture of coping on a personal level to a business level. So, again, we don't know what the future is going to hold. There's pretty much an agreement with that. So the talk of the webinars I've been involved in and the literature that I've read, virtual literature, it shifted from the traditional, well, we have to develop a business plan and think ahead. That's relying on precedent. The talk is becoming more to be adaptive, to think expansive. And what I'm not going to do, and they say in business, you shouldn't say what you're not going to do, but I was a biology major, so I don't have to worry about what shouldn't be said. That we're not going to give standard commentary. We're going to share experiences that addresses this challenge to you, and I'm going to ask the audience this question. Share with us, what are you doing now that you weren't doing 2 or 3 months ago that's allowed you to cope better at home? And I've got tons of examples in upcoming webinars. What are you doing now that you weren't doing 2 or 3 months ago that's made your home existence better overall and provided a platform to make your business better also? For me, it's doing this YouTube presentation, something I talked about when I get time for it, when I get around to it. Now's the time, because my business is about engagement, and we use physical contact, physical events to allow that engagement to occur, but now we're separated. And unfortunately, when people are under stress, coming together is a natural tendency. So the need for engagement is still there. We have to simply be more, I hate the word simply only, we have to be more creative with how we engage. So my engagement to you, the audience, is share with us something you're doing you now that you weren't doing, say, 2 or 3 months ago. That's hopefully improved your home lifestyle on a coping basis, but more importantly, through your adaptation, has allowed you to become more creative, providing a better environment for your immediate needs, but also for those of you who are in your own business, for your future needs. Besides sharing your thoughts, and hopefully we can manage to get perhaps people online with us. We can share our YouTube experiences back and forth. Let people know how ingenious you are, how adaptive you are, how creative you are. So together, we can convert lemons into lemonade. I expect this to be a weekly occurrence. I say expect. This is my first one I'm doing. I'll be the first to admit that. First one to admit the first I'm doing. But more importantly, that I ask you, if you like this presentation, click the like button. Please subscribe. And also be sure to click your notification button so you can also be informed when the next video comes out. So let's convert those lemons into lemonade. There will be a COVID-19 afterlife. Let's be best prepared for it. And if you're in business for yourself, better than the competition. Looking forward to hearing from you. And by all means, please comment also. I'm Joe Wesley, J&L Creative Tours. And my tagline is, once your brand value is clear, the sale is done.